Hey, and welcome to another episode of Back from the Future, where we like to talk about stuff from past, present, and future. Now, today we are talking about we're going to be doing a movie review on Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. Now, back in 2004, he released a movie called Dawn of the Dead, which was a remake of the original George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, which was one of the original zombie movies of its time. Now, Zack Snyder, he did the cinematography for this movie, he did the writing and directing for this movie, and I think he's a producer on this movie as well, so he's worn a lot of hats in this movie. Originally, Warner Brothers was going to do this movie, but they decided to sit on their hands and do nothing with it. And then Netflix acquired the rights, and I think they put between 70 to 90 million into this movie, which is, wow, it's a nice chunk of dough. Certainly keeps the industry going when these production companies put money like this into it, especially streaming company, if it's now Netflix. Now Netflix, they want their stuff, shot on very specific cameras, and they have a criteria on what cameras they should use. And I believe that Zack Snyder used a red Komodo for this movie, so it was shot on red, and I'm assuming they probably used Zeiss or Panavision lenses. Spoiler alert, Zack Snyder didn't use a red Komodo, he used a red Monstro, and the lenses he used weren't Zeiss or Panavision lenses as I first thought they might be. He actually used vintage glass. In particular, the lens he used for most of the film was made by Canon in the 1960s, the 50mm.95. He had the lens rehoused by a company called Zero Optic and had it fitted to a Leica mount, which was then connected to the red Monstro, and that is why you get that beautiful, unique look. It's because of that special lens. And the interesting thing about the cinematography for this movie, that there is a lot of stuff he shot for this movie that's very shallow depth of field. I think he might have gone a little bit over. I mean, even some shots are like out of focus when they should be in focus theoretically. Now, the one thing I will say is I think that was a stylistic choice. Not that he was making a mistake with the focusing. It's amazing how we're always told to keep stuff in focus when you're shooting a movie, but this guy breaks the rules and has shots that are out of focus, which is unheard of, to be honest. But it can, I think, get a little bit distracting. Now, getting onto basically the meat of the movie, it stars Dave Bautista, who plays the character of Scott. He's a father and he's got a daughter called Kate. And basically this is a zombie movie. I mean, if you were to break it down, you could think Ocean's 11 meets Suicide Squad meets a zombie movie. Now, the thing about zombie movies is that I think it's really hard to create something original. Now, I found this movie, it was well shot, art direction was great, sound was amazing. However, it's not bringing anything new to the genre. Although the premise of the movie is that it's basically a heist in a casino where they're going to be stealing a whole load of money, but the place is surrounded by zombies, which is in Las Vegas. And they've got more or less a 24-hour window before Las Vegas is blown up by the US Army, because it's covered with zombies. Now, what I was going to say about to you was two of the most amazing zombie movies in recent times. It's got to be 28 Days Later and Shaun of the Dead. Both of them changed the zombie landscape completely. especially with 28 Days, where it dealt with like super fast moving zombies that we'd never seen before. Mostly zombies were like very slow moving. This introduced fast paced zombies. Now with Shaun of the Dead, where do I start? Creative genius with the zombie genre. Creative genius. You just can't. It's not just one thing. It's the way it's shot, edited, put together. Almost multiple timelines, but not multiple timelines. You just can't get bored of watching that movie. It is absolute classic. It's a head screw, but it's a brilliant zombie movie. One of the best zombie movies ever made. Now you've got to come up with something really special to top those two movies. Now Zack Snyder, I think a lot of people are saying this is Zack Snyder being given 90 million and he's just having fun with the zombie franchise, and that's fair enough. It's 2.5 hours long. I think it's probably about an hour too long, to be honest. I mean, the whole thing with him and his daughter saying, well, you know, you've got to take me into Vegas to save some other woman that she has a friendship with, and he reluctantly agrees. It's a little bit far-fetched, because what true father would ever let her daughter go into a place where it's surrounded by zombies, where their chances of surviving are very low? It's just not going to happen. But you know, that's how the story starts. You know, there's a government experiment with the zombie, and that's in a container, has an accident, zombie gets loose and near Area 51, Nevada desert, and ends up in basically Vegas, and they have to seal the whole of Vegas up so that the infection cannot spread out. Now, what else? The interesting thing that it's brought to the genre is that the zombie is an alpha zombie. They're a little bit more intelligent than your regular zombies. You've got a CGI tiger called Valentine, which has escaped a magic show, I think someone was mentioning. So you've got this tiger that's on the loose in the complex, and also it's a pretty much run-of-the-mill group of outlaws, mercenaries, even if you want to call it, that are going to go do this heist, and that's basically it. Is it entertaining? Very much so. I will say it's entertaining. It's not, like I said, it's not bringing anything new, but if you just want to sit down after a hard day's work and just want to switch off and watch something that is entertaining, this is the movie for you. Is it something that's deeply thought-provoking? No, not really. But however, this is, I believe, is going to kick off a franchise. I understand that there are other movies that are in the works at Netflix, so you're going to have sequels and prequels, and maybe even multiverses. That's what their rumours are saying, and that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the thing is, what's interesting is, I was surprised that most of the characters, got a spoiler alert, you know, in case you don't know, most of the characters end up dying, and I'm not going to say which ones they are, except to say that, you know, they die in the movie, but you kind of get the feeling, why would they kill so many central characters off? And I think that in the future these characters might come back in a separate timeline. Also, there's mentions of aliens. There's even some shots of some alien spaceships flying off into the distance, so it makes me think that there is much more to the story than they're letting on. And also, when one of the zombies gets shot, it almost looks like that he's made out of there's an exoskeleton underneath, much like Terminator. So he's giving little Easter eggs away within this movie, so you just got to keep your eye open and see if you can pick up on these slight little things within the movie. I mean, there's a shot also in the in the safe where you see these old cans of film in the corner, which is reminiscent of the when Zack Snyder posted online of the Snyderverse in film cans, saying yes, it does exist. So there's so many Easter eggs. Like I said, it's 2.5 hours long. And also one of the other thing is when one of the characters named Vandero sort of escapes from the safe after a nuclear explosion, he doesn't seem to be affected by the radiation that would have been there afterwards, and he gets on a plane. But he's also been bitten as well by the alpha zombie Zeus. And so that's about wraps it up. I think that the movie it's a good film, but I think it could have been taken in so many more different directions. I think that they missed a few tricks with this movie, but you know, it's in the can now and it's out for you to watch on Netflix. I recommend you please do. And guys and girls, that's about it.
If you liked this video, please feel free to subscribe to our channel, press the bell notification button, and get notified when a new video comes out. Please leave a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video, please leave comments and let us know what your thoughts and suggestions are for future videos.
And we will see you in the future, if there is one.